let's have a look at this bottom. See if we can see what the scoop is going to look like. Alright, so we want to cover up the fiberglass here completely because we're going to be in a river with a lot of rocks. So bring plates that cover completely to this edge, and then we're going to glue down to this when we do our final glue in. And then the sheet will come up here. Right, here's our sheet of 191 aluminum thickness, about 3/16, and it's about 6 feet long, so I think it'll come up to about here, and I'll bring it back to right here, and then I'll do something different to cover this little section right in there. So I want this plate to be removable and adjustable. Alright, time to take some measurements, do some cutting. Next step, we're going to cut a shallow groove down the middle, so it'll have a little bit of a V-hull to the piece. We'll bend it into shape, but we'll just cut a shallow groove. That should help us get a nice bend. Okay, that's not actually too bad. Okay, so I have to do some shaping of the metal here so it meets the hull. So I tried a vise and a hammer, working on this piece here. It's got some amount of curvature and bending in it, but it's not going 100% great. So I'm gonna try something else. So I thought of couple different ways, maybe using a tractor bucket and pushing down. And then another idea that I had was using something like a press and then a curved die to shape the metal. So I don't have a press, and my buddy had one, sold it, so I had some scrap metal and a jack laying around. So here's what we're going to try. This is a bottle jack, 8-ton, and then a piece of plate, some angle welded onto that, two probably 1.25 inch uprights of steel, and a 2x2 across the top. And then this will jack up, and I'm just going to cut out of wood. So I'm going to take a 2x6 and I'm going to cut a curve in it, and then I'll set the bottom moon shaped piece on here. Anyways, that's the idea. I don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. Part's looking pretty nice. I used it from about here back on that lesser arch. I think that'll be good. I might need to make another one that has an intermediate, maybe about like, I don't know, maybe a 5-inch wide arch on it or something will be good for this center section. And then I'll need a real small radius for the end. So I'll probably make another one of these with maybe one about that wide and one about half of that. I've been messing with trying to get these curves right for a while, and what I ended up doing was cutting this big triangle piece in half. That's going to make it easier to fit. And this is going to be a nice armor for this center of the boat because it's a rocky river. Part of the point of this is we definitely want to make it a little bit rock proof. I mean, the edges are still going to be thinner aluminum, but the part that sticks down the most will be covered with this nice thick plate and also all the fiberglass. So hopefully that'll be enough protection. So you can see as we look down, you know, I'm going to go on top of those chines on the side. So this whole center section is going to be up about 1 inch from the other parts. So if anything's going to hit a rock, that would be the most likely part. And then I want to run some kind of keel protection more than what's here to somewhere in here. You can see some old little dents right there and there. So obviously that was a part that could use a little bit extra. So I'm going to put some kind of layer up over top of that in addition to what I'm doing here. Here's where we're at right now with the metal bending. So I have this one more piece that I need to kind of make for right there. That's going to be this guy. I made a new board with some shapes on it. Here's kind of a graveyard of parts used to making some of the other shapes. Worked on that for a while. I think we'll call that good enough. So I'm working on this keel guard next, and just want some protection for the front of the pointy part of the hull here. So I made this piece on a vise. I cut about halfway through the aluminum and then used the vise and bent that into an angle shape. So that's going to sit on there. And I'm going to make some cuts in here so that I'll be able to curve around. Up. We'll squeeze together a little bit more. Okay. I want to make some spacers that go all the way around. It'd be one of the gluing surfaces for the hull to the jet ski. So I'm going to weld about a 1/2 inch thick piece all the way around the scoop, and then I think we'll put some flat plates here and here. We can get all these pieces cut and then do all the welding at once, kind of do economy of scale that way. So alright, let's cut some more pieces. If you ever want to glitter bomb your own house, just cut lots of aluminum in your garage. I mean, look at this. Man, that stuff sticks to everything. Give you a close-up of that. So those little channels are filled in, and then on the underneath of that, that'll be a gluing surface from these pieces that we just put into the jet ski. I'm all out of toilet paper boxes, so I guess this regular old Amazon box is gonna have to do. Might not work as good though. That's the gluing surface. That's looking pretty nice. Got all the fiberglass covered up. Time to do some more welding. I need to weld in the top side of this hull armor. So where I made the split, I cut about halfway through to make the bend, if you'll remember. So I need to weld that. And then these are spacers that fill the gap down to the hull. So I need to weld these from the the top side of this armor before it gets flipped over then and installed on the boat. So this is welded. It's going to be our scoop. I'm going to smooth that out a little bit more. But the water will flow right down there into the grate. A little more cleaning up on that. Check it out, we're getting a nice snow here today. It's a winter wonderland. A little smoky in here. Get some ventilation. Alright, did some welding on the bottom here. Starting to get the armor attached. It's going alright. Next up, it's going to be welding the keel guard. Got a new toothbrush. This is a 90-degree or right angle die grinder. Takes a 1/4-inch bit and got it from Hobo Freight. It's this McGraw brand. Supposed to have a 1/4 horsepower. Seems impressive. Even more impressive was the price, $25. Now this little bit that I have in here was almost as much as the tool. I think it was $16. So we got about $41 invested here. Anyways, you can see how small that radius is on that. Hopefully that'll get in some of the tight corners and save a little bit of trying to reach in there with the grinder. Should be able to do a little bit nicer work on the inside corners. Anyways, let's give this thing a try. It's not quite as fast as I was thinking it would be. If you're pressing the trigger completely, it's kind of hard to control, so you kind of have to go like 3/4 speed on it. It does a nice job, it just takes a little bit longer than I thought it would. For all the few bucks that it cost, I think it's definitely worth it. right, I think I'm going to stop the video here now. I have a decent amount of the welding, grinding, cleanup done, and it's starting to look pretty good. Still have a little bit more to do, but we have a nice 3/16 armor all across the bottom now. That should help protect us against the rocks.